Welcome to the Archotechs, a RimWorld fluid ideology series about pursuing the Archonexus. Episode 61, A Little Dignity. To briefly recap last episode, we ascended to the next stage of the Archonexus. So now we're on this cold bog map tile with the grand architect structure and the requirements to ally the Brio people and to obtain 350,000 for the last piece of the map. We called in some laborers to help out with some stone cutting and a little bit of construction. And the plan for this episode is as follows. I would like to the best of my ability, secure some food. One of the issues that we're going to face is it is currently the 2nd of December, and as it gets colder, the animals out here are going to leave the map tile. So it's going to be really important for us to hunt them while they're here so that I can feed myself during the winter. Another thing I want to do is to get the farm going, which means working on getting battery research. So let's get that started. The battery research is pretty straightforward. That just means Sven needs to be tasked with the research task. And then for the farm, I'm actually going to move where my space heaters are going to be placed. And then I also want to design this to be double insulated. The double insulation will help me keep it warmer for less power. The way to double insulate in RimWorld is to just double wall. That is the ideal and the meta. So there we go, double insulated farm. I would also like to start to get all of the bedrooms going, which means getting leather or cloth for drapes. I think in this instance, we're going to get leather. So with all of those factors combined, let's get this started. First things first, I am going to send Bunny over here to do some mining. I think we're going to require steel, a whole lot of it, if we're going to electrify our base. So I'm going to queue her up with a whole lot of mining tasks, and hopefully she does them quickly. And setting up torches in each location so that she or whoever is mining can have an illuminated workplace. Another thing that I think I'm going to need is an ability to feed my animals. So the problem is that there's really not going to be any grazing as we're heading into winter. And the lack of grazing means that the animals that I have are going to struggle to be fed. So what I'm going to do here is just to wall off a little section for the deer to be kept. I'm going to allow an external door. And no, actually, I'm not even going to do that. So we're going to keep the deer in here so that they can be fed. And you'll understand that once I get a little bit closer to that task. So Trustin, I want you to start to work on the limestone walls. These laborers are sticking around for about 3 more days. Trustin does have the ability to call in additional ones if the timer runs out. But at that point, I might not even need laborers. It really depends on if there is more work to be done. It's quite possible that I basically run out of things for them to do. Another thing I want to do is to start hunting the dangerous fauna. The polar bears, the wolves, the wargs, cougars, that kind of thing. Grizzly bears. So that my own animals don't get hunted. And it's just a little bit safer for everybody. It should be pretty easy because we have such overpowered weapons. To cut through these guys means nothing to Zaleb or any of my 5 colonists. They win nearly instantly. I don't have auto home zoning on, so as I expand the base here, I'm going to be required to home zone it myself, which I'm totally fine with. So speaking about the requirements of the bedrooms. These bedrooms are going to require end tables, drapes, dressers, that kind of thing. So that's a lot of marble going into it. I want to make it all out of marble because marble is the prettiest stone and also exactly what the Archotechs would want and like. But it means a whole lot of marble cutting, and obviously I have not really cut up on the amount that I need, because this will be thousands. That's why this task is so difficult. Taking a look at the wider map here, it wouldn't be unwise to continue hunting everything, because soon I suspect that the amount of animals that I can find dwindles tremendously due to the change of season. So I'm just going to keep hunting like there is no tomorrow. Another thing I could do to help speed everything up is to heat the workplace a little bit. So there's no real reason, given how plentiful wood is, to not have a bunch of campfires. Who was hunting up there? Trustin? Yeah, you're good. Alright, next up, the bear. And then, likewise, I'm going to put campfires in the bedrooms instead of torches, so that the bedrooms are a little bit warmer as well. And Zaleb has won the fight against the bear. I'm more concerned with killing the creatures that are closest to me than going on a wild goose chase. So as much as I would like to hunt the elk, no, you know what? They're not so far. Maybe I actually make a concerted effort to hunt the elk tomorrow with everybody. But one of the advantages here is that we stockpile the meat, and this meat will help to serve us through the winter, making sure that we are well supplied. If I want to get the grow light on, I'm going to need to add to the power grid, which means at least 2 more wood-fired generators, which is going to be the bare minimum required. So I'll start on that as well. And I'm going to have Bunny continue to shave this mountain. So far I haven't found any overhead mountain, but if I do, I'll just fill it in. Although in this temperature, it's not likely that I get any infestations. It is simply too cold. At least in the winters. So the fine tiling for this bedroom, just about done. Only one spot left. And then we'll move on to the other ones, doing them one at a time. And I think tomorrow morning, I'm going to try to send everybody down to go hunt the elk. Because that will really bolster... Oh, no. They're already leaving the map tile. This elk is gone. Never mind. Scratch that. We do have yaks. So maybe the 3 or 4 yaks. Now, my animals here are going to slowly starve. So that's one of the reasons why I'm making a little barn, in order to try to solve that. But we've made virtually no progress in the barn so far. Another thing I could do is to remove the caravan hitching spot and let them graze freely. And hopefully they're going to find food enough to keep fed from starving. But I do have a project in mind to help prevent that from happening, to help prevent their starvation. So I'm going to wake No Luck up a little early so I can get yak hunting. One of the reasons, another one of the reasons why I really want the yaks is for their leather, to allow me to make the drapes I require for the bedrooms. So Bunny, Trustin, you are going to continue hunting this one. Trustin can't normally haul. Zaleb, and No Luck. So this one won't be hauled by No Luck, because No Luck is not a hauler, and it died. But someone will come back for it. In fact, No Luck, let's have you hunt the polar bear as you walk by. And Sven just finished battery tech, so I'm going to go to microelectronics so I can speed up my pace of research. And I have no doubt that No Luck's going to win this one. Yep. Totally overpowered weapons usually wins a fight. Okay. Turning these campfires off as gathering spots. I don't want my laborers to gather there. And it sounds like Bunny is back to doing some mining. Good. So in the interest of supporting the animals that I have, I'm going to try to force... unfortunately, it's going to be Bunny. I think she cuts trees faster than everybody else. I'm going to force Bunny to cut some of the trees that are blocking this sort of barn project. Pretty soon here, a rat's going to get stuck inside. It's kind of funny. All right, let's get the marble out. And the barn is actually coming together kind of nicely. I don't know what happened, but all of my laborers decided that this is the project to do. So another thing that I'm going to require is a little bit of limestone blocks. We ran out building this wall, so I'll get a... I'll change the stone cutter just to get the remaining limestone required. But as you can see here, these animals, once the limestone wall is built, will be constrained here in this barn. And then this barn will... I'll put in a stack of simple meals. Horses normally would graze, but in the wintertime, they're just going to be eating a stack of their own simple meals. You know, because I will be out of material otherwise. So what I'm going to do is forbid the parts of the limestone wall that does not enclose this little barn. So don't use up any of the blocks unnecessarily. And then take a look at the drapes that I'm going to require. I do have the leather for 2 of the drapes, so I'm going to lay those out. And it looks like I don't have the leather for the 3rd one, so that's going to be something I'm going to need to hunt for. I have a lot of plain leather, so maybe there's literally not another animal here with plain leather other than the ibex doe. So I'll go for the ibex doe, but just know that I'm probably going to have to figure out a solution for the remainder of the drapes required. Unless animals wander in. Which would be nice. That ibex clearly was leaving the map tile, so I hunted it just in time. Plenty of meat, though. Got plenty of meat. Right, I'm going to forbid some of these floors just so that I can fully wall this up. And then another thing I'm going to require is components, which seems that Bunny's already on top of that, because we only have 4 components left. It's going to be important for me to not strip mine all the components out of this map tile, so it's a little bit easier to make a fabrication bench in the future. But for now, components are king. So there we go. That is the remaining walls that I require, and this is going to be Cold Bog Temple. The desert map tile was the desert temple. The rainforest map tile was the rainforest, or the jungle temple. So now we have the Cold Bog Temple. And something else that I could do is just throw down a little pen marker here. These animals aren't going to be allowed to leave. And then what I'm going to do is put a stack of simple meals here. Horse simple meals. And this will be set to important so that they can eat. And that way I don't have any miscarriages or anything like that. I also have to keep an eye on the wolves, because it's also quite possible that the wolves run out of food as well. But they're going to be able to do a little bit of hunting for themselves. And they can also eat raw meat and other things. So they're a little bit easier to look after. Ooh, we have a whole bunch of caribou. Set them up to be hunted. So with the wood fire generators all fired up, I'm going to stick 2 heaters in here. Run the cable a little bit, and then soon we'll be able to plant some rice, I hope. It also means that I need to adjust the animal zones, so the wolf haulers should not be allowed in the farm. It actually wouldn't be that much of a problem, because all they would really do is to haul the rice out of there. But there's no real need to tie them up with that task. Some of the caribou are leaving the map tile. Okay, there we go. We get some revenge, which is good. And we'll be done hunting a bunch of caribou, and that's going to allow us to do all of the drapes in plain leather. So for this structure here, I'm not actually going to keep it clean. I don't really want to, because the horses are going to make a lot of filth. And let's also stick some batteries out here as well. We're going to need to roof them up so that snow doesn't short circuit. It's not the permanent place where I'm going to keep batteries. Obviously, that's temporary and not ideal. And then it looks like I might have enough limestone blocks, so I'm going to switch this back over to marble so that we can continue the flooring project. So Trustin, what are you working on? Oh, he's already building the walls. Perfect. That's exactly what I was going to tell him to do. So once this gets fully enclosed, we will heat it, roof it, sew it, and then we should start to get some rice. Awesome. Shivaroo just gave birth. So this is going to be Mallet Mark. And congratulations to Talon for winning another character raffle. And Fairy is pregnant, so we're going to get even more. So now that this room is double insulated and enclosed fully, it should heat up pretty quickly. And as it heats up, we'll get the sewing done in there. And then once it's fully sewn, I'll turn on the sun lamp. But I do want the batteries first. And one of the issues with the batteries is we do have a lack of components. So that means sending Bunny out here to mine some more components up, so that we can actually build the batteries and store the power. So there's still a Timberwolf, a Lynx, and a Cougar. But I'm not going to go hunting for them. I don't think they're going to become a problem too soon. So Trustin, what are you working on? Ah, yes. Making the batteries. Alright, The game is telling me that I have no place to store the components, so obviously that's my mistake. Let's expand this stockpile a little bit. And then another thing I could do, which would help out a lot, is to create a raw resource stockpile for the things that do not decay. So I'm going to put a stockpile for now down here. I don't really have a better place for it. And raw resources. So raw resources would be stone blocks and steel for now. And this is going to be set to preferred. And that means we'll free up a whole lot more space in here that we just don't need to store steel or stone blocks. Stone blocks and steel don't burn. They don't have hit points, so they can't be destroyed. So it's a perfect thing to put outside because they won't decay. Wood also doesn't decay very fast outside, but it does technically decay, so keep that in mind. And I should have enough plain leather to make the third drape once... Yeah, I already do. Awesome. So 3 batteries, 3 wood-fired generators, and now we're going to turn on the sun lamp to start growing the rice. And we have a lot of marble blocks, so I'm going to lift the forbidden zones from being built. Wonderful. So these workers are only here for about 5 more hours. I don't think I'm going to be calling in a new group of workers just yet, because I don't think that there's a lot of work for them to even functionally do. I think I'm going to run out of tasks for them. It also depends on their skills, of course. But we don't really need that much more construction and sewing. At least not yet. Not until the temperature turns and allows me to work outdoors. I don't know. I might waver on that. It might be helpful to have them cut more stone. I do happen to have a ton of food available, so... yeah, I guess I'll call in another batch. Okay, let's do that. Call in aid, laborers. So here's 4 more, and we'll just have to give them the work priorities. Required. So 1 can grow real well. They all... 3 of them have passions in construction, but not really skills. I think I'm going to have Bunny cook, because the others are not good cooks. And then 1 literally does not craft at all, which is going to be a bit of a problem. But they are a plant and cutter and grower. They're not awesome guests, but they'll have to do. So in terms of plant cutting, I think I am going to start to strip clear this area here. The base is going to expand to the south and the east. So I'll get started on that. It wouldn't be a terrible idea for Bunny to get the silver when she's out here as well. So Bunny has to cook and she has to mine, so she's going to be pretty busy. Wouldn't be a terrible idea for me to hit work drive on her. And Sven is about almost halfway to microelectronics, which is pretty fast. So Trust and Zaleb, I'm going to move your bed already. And then the other things that we're going to need is a marble end table and a marble dresser. And I'm going to focus on getting each of the architects, one at a time, their ideal layout and setup. So Zaleb, let's bring that up. Another thing I might want to do is to get an art bench to start producing art. So I'm going to set up a wooden art bench here because these bedrooms are going to need to be at least 80 impressive. And I think it will be close, but it really depends on the quality of the dressers and the quality of the end table. But if any filth gets built up, we will drop back to a lack of impressiveness. So it's helpful to get an art bench to make sure that we don't fall just under the threshold. So we are going to require the bedrooms in about 4 days' time. And I think that's pretty obtainable. Now, the real question is, will I be able to get a throne room in time? And I think that's probably doubtful. Because the throne room is going to be considerably larger than these bedrooms, and then also require materials that I don't necessarily have easy access to, like gold. I do have a little bit of gold, so let's mark down resources. So I've got gold here, uranium, which could be really good for mini turrets, plasteel, good for bionics or auto turrets. Obviously, I have an Ancient Danger, which is going to have some resources in there as well. Most of everything else is like steel, it looks like, or components. But it's pretty decent. Having gold, oh, more plasteel. Having gold, plasteel, uranium all sort of available to me is pretty nice. So now, here we go. It's somewhat impressive, and for me to bring the impressiveness up, let's see about cleaning it. The other thing is I need to add it to the home zone because it wasn't automatically. So you clean it up and... oh, well, you tracked in dirt as you cleaned it. But as you can see, it's probably not going to easily hit 80. Yeah, 78. Which means that the art bench will, in fact, be required. So, I think... I don't like the idea of just, like, wooden sculptures, because they're not great. But that's the resource I have in abundance, so it's going to have to be the resource I use. And No Luck is going to get working on that. So I'm going to hit No Luck's production command and Trustin's production command. So No Luck with the production command here will help to cut the stones faster, which is kind of useful. And then Sven, might as well give you a bedroom in progress. Does mean that the laborers here are going to have to be moved somewhere else and not in one of these royal bedrooms because Bonnie is going to obviously take this one. But I don't really have a place for them yet. But I am working on it. Now, the other issue I have is, looks to me like, because the vents share with the... yeah. So I'm going to want to close these vents, because yeah, that's going to be a bit of a problem. I'm actually going to have Trustin do that now. No, he went asleep. Because all this meat is going to spoil... because this campfire is bleeding heat back into it. So now the pen is enclosed, and the kitchen is frozen. I added vents here as well so that this meat, or this stockpile of food and meals won't decay either. So, there we go. We have prevented that issue. The other thing I could do is to shrink the stockpile a little bit and do two things. One, I could put meals here at the door, which is going to be reduce the amount of foot traffic people drag in. Forbid this, because I don't have any rice yet. So this will be meals, and specifically it is going to be simple meals and fine meals. And then eventually I'm going to have veggies to cook. So here's the veggies stockpile. Important that raw vegetarian goes there so that we could cook fine meals a little faster once I get a yield of rice. So here we go with some art, and hopefully this is enough art to bring the bedrooms up to dignified. $94, perfect. It's exactly what we were looking for. And then taking a look at the terrain affordance here, I am just going to make like a laborer's shack here. It shouldn't take very long, but it will free up this bedroom to be for our trio. Just making it of wood. It's going to be a temporary building, obviously. And we have wood in incredible abundance, so it'll be very cheap to do as well. Now, for the wolf haulers, they should probably stay out of that. Oh, a masterwork statue. That's wonderful. That will help with the bedroom a lot. And then these laborers are going to get moved in their own shed. And we threw that together in like an hour or two. All right, before they go to sleep, let's get the slab beds moved. And then, Bunny, you're going to move into your bedroom after I give it a deep clean because those laborers were pretty dirty. Awesome. All coming together. So a little bit more marble, and we'll have all three bedrooms dignified. And then I think what I'm going to do is I am going to set it up so that... Ooh, Trustin is idle. I'm going to set it up so that the throne room is kind of like over here, perhaps, on the back side. Really, it depends heavily upon... or, you know, I could even have the meditation room, because... that way it doesn't become a thoroughfare, and then do a throne room as well. So I sort of have a concept in my head, but I'm not really sure. I haven't drawn it out or anything like that. So we'll just go with the flow. And Sven's bedroom now meets the requirements. So we only have one undignified bedroom for Bunny, and that is something that we are currently working on. So it should be together any minute now. The rice is about half grown, which is good progress. And then took a look at the animals here. Yep, I was kind of right that there is a severe lack of biodiversity out there because of the cold temperatures. We're the 6th of December, which is just about the dead of winter. And Bunny's bedroom is now impressive. Very impressive, and meeting the requirements. So I suspect that I'll end up... oh, bummer. I'll end up building a geothermal generator here, and then trying to use some of the ambient heat to heat up the rest of the base. So whatever I end up building here, I should consider that there will be a big hunkin' geothermal generator sitting in the middle of the room. So if this becomes a crafting room, it's going to be a crafting room that is going to share a lot of space with the generator itself. But the beauty of a generator room doesn't really matter. So we're looking at kitchen here, dining room here, crafting room here, which means that eventually I'm going to want storage here, like a trade beacon. I don't have the trade beacon research done, but it's about just over 2/3 progressed already. And then not to mention, I have not forgotten about no Lux bedroom, so I think given terrain affordance, that is a very good question. I don't want to build no Lux bedroom off of the kitchen here, because then the kitchen becomes, it gets a lot more foot traffic. I could put it here, or I could actually have it separated out like this. Oh, well, it needs to be a little bit larger. I'm going to give No Luck a slightly smaller bedroom than the trio, and then obviously not fine floored up. Still a nice bedroom, but sort of detached. So the idea is to put general stockpile here and then have the crafting room sort of snake around here or something. Going with a very strange layout. So I do have some overhead mountain that I'm not going to want to break into. So I'll leave this unmined, and then maybe eventually actually smooth it out, because smooth flooring looks kind of nice, or smooth walling rather. So another thing that I'm going to want to build is a hospital, or research room, or sort of both. So this might call for limestone. I don't really care about the prettiness of the room itself. So what I could do is I could carve out a little corner here for research/hospital in this region. Yeah, it's a very strange looking layout, I know. But multi-analyzer would fit perfectly there, so I don't know, I kind of like it. And I'm going to move this dumping stockpile over here, and obviously these are going to continue to move as I expand into the area. So this is a good hospital layout, I think. And I'll stick a door in here. And the first iteration of this hospital is just going to have wooden flooring, because I'm not going to be able to afford sterile. I don't have the research or anything. But eventually it's going to get nicer and nicer and nicer. Alright, and then that also means to change the wolf hauler zone to not allow them in such a room. And this is going to accelerate the speed at which we gain technology, because it will be a cleaner room than this nasty, very dirty, no-lux bedroom, which is a continual problem for research speed, because research speed is driven by the cleanliness of the area. So, bit of a problem for Sven. And then if we want to power that up, all we have to do is run the power down there, like that. And it looks like the 3 wood-fired generators that I have is keeping up with the growth light, which is good. But as we expand our power grid and demand more power, I'm going to want to probably replace it with renewables. So the idea is for Sven to get microelectronics, and then to get a high-tech research bench, and then to pivot back to get geothermal or solar or sort of a mix. So right now I have a lot of steel, thanks to Bunny, but not a lot of components. So I'm going to get Bunny to get the remainder of components I have available to me and try to reserve at least 10 of them for fabrication. So I'm going to start marking them down with plans now. So we have components in these 2 areas. Definitely there's going to be some components in the Ancient Danger. And that actually might be the extent of the components on the map tile once this is mined out, which means that I may not get the geothermal generator just yet. I might instead go straight for fabrication, for multi-analyzer and fabrication, so that I don't possibly run out of precious resources. So the research room is going to want to be heated so that there's no slowdown of speed. But I'm not going to worry about double insulating anything besides the farm. So a lynx is hunting me. Yeah, that's a big old joke. Bye. Ooh, it's going to get a nibble in, maybe. Nope, no nibbles. So what I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to have a art-driven meditation room back here. And then a throne room here. Storage here. And I'm not really sure where the kill box is going to go. Still have yet to figure that one out. But that kind of gives you a general idea of the layout that I have in mind. So something else that I could do temporarily is just to close this off so that heat is sort of kept in, and then open the doors and build a roof over the whole thing. Okay, 47. Still bad temperature, but I think it will heat up. Especially if I open up this door here. Because I don't think these two heaters are struggling to keep the farm warm. I could be wrong about that, but I feel like we're generating plenty of heat. No luck, your bedroom is finally moved. You're in luck, for once. And then as we produce more art... one of the things I'm going to want to do is to set up the Psi-Focus meditation room so that I'm far more powerful than I currently am, because the Psi-Focus percents that most of our colonists have right now are very, very low. I think for now I'm just going to actually cap that off like that. I may not even have a hallway here. I may just have all of this be crafting space and no sort of adjoining hallway at all. I don't think it's all that necessary. But this colony really is humming with productivity. Coming together quickly. So the research room is warm, the farm is warm, the hallways are warm, the whatever this room is, storage, crafting, something, I don't know, is plenty warm because of all the campfires. The kitchen is cold, the barn is fine, it's cold appropriately. All the bedrooms are now properly dignified, and then the idea is to put in meditation. So the meditation here, I think what I would do is actually have doors out back. I'm going to forbid these for now, but doors out back leading to like some sort of meditation spot. And I'm trying to have all the buildings interconnect so that heat is conserved. I wouldn't mind having this be flush, but the issue with it being flush is I don't have the I don't have a moisture pump yet, so that's something to be added. So that allows for the meditation room to be back here, and maybe I'll have it be a little bit larger, nice and square. So like a large meditation forum. There we go. So it's kind of symmetrical now. And then that leaves the throne room in this area. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mine out to figure out what dimensions of a throne room I can have, but obviously we already have some overhead mountain. So that's another thing to consider is I don't want to increase my infestation risk for any reason. Awesome. Well, my friends, this is all the time I have. Thank you for tuning in to the Archotechs, episode 61, A Little Dignity. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for voting in the previous poll, and I hope to have more community-driven content like this in the future. I'll be announcing what comes next after the Architects soon. If you'd like to join my gaming community to be alerted to such polls and other announcements, Rhadamant.com or the description of this video have a link to Discord. Thank you so very much for watching. A special thank you to all my Patreon patrons and Twitch subscribers that support the channel, and viewers like you that like, comment, and subscribe, and share this with others. I will catch you next episode. Farewell, everybody.